The safety is off. There's a round in the chamber. This is Armed Alabama. Sponsored by McCoy Outdoor Company, Mobile's hometown full-line outdoor sporting products and gear store. An interactive talk show discussing self-defense, product reviews, shooting tips, safety, and more. Your calls, comments, and texts welcome at 343-0106. Now, here are your hosts, retired judge and certified NRA instructor Rusty Johnston and certified NRA law enforcement instructor Adam Strange.
They're gonna pry these guns right out of my hands when they come to take them away. I believe in the rights that my fathers gave me when he signed the Constitution that day. No misguided president or crooked politician with a greasy pocket be spared. When the hard-working man gets tired of your cry, it's gonna rain wrath, beware. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. You're not gonna take it away. I stand up to fight for my freedoms and rights. That's a price you'll have to pay. Don't tread on me, I'm American free. Red-blooded to the core. You ain't ever had a fight in your life like the fight that you're itching
for. All right, welcome to another show of Armed Alabama. Glad you could join us tonight. Got a good show for you. We're just going to kind of sit here and talk about different things. Also, if you got a different comment or a question tonight, give us a call. You can call into the studio, 251-343-0106. We'll be glad to hear from you tonight. If you got any questions regarding the law or self-defense, maybe firearm ammo selection, home protection, concealed carry, training, range etiquette, and much, much more. Of course, we have a concealed carry class, home defense concealed carry class coming up, and that is this Saturday, May 13th. And that will be at Three Brothers Arms in Stapleton. And the judge and I will be hosting the class there. You can go to our website, armedalabama.com/classes, and you can sign up for the class and pay for the class all right there from our website. It's nice, easy, and convenient. If you've been putting off taking the firearm class, definitely now is the time to do it. We're looking forward to class. We've got a good number of people has already signed up, and we just have a few more seats left.
Hey, it's filling up fast, isn't it?
It is filling up fast, and so we appreciate that. We appreciate all the ones that are signed up already, and a lot of them that have signed up for the classes. They have shared it on their Facebook page and tagged us in it, so that really gets us excited, and I really get pumped doing those classes and really, really enjoy it. And we have a strong methodology that we teach. We really focus on what matters. We focus on your defense 10 feet or less outside the home, and then, of course, inside the home the same way, because most of all your engagements will be 10 feet or less, and so we really concentrate on the speed and veracity of what that engagement may entail. The judge is there to talk about how to receive law enforcement, what's your rights, what Alabama law is, what Mississippi or Florida law is, because we actually have people signed up from all three states. Just a reminder, if you are a citizen of Florida, our certification and our certificate qualifies you for the Florida Concealed Carry Weapons Permit. So if you're a Florida resident, you live in Cantonment or Pensacola within our listening area, by all means, this is a good class for you to take. It's only about 35 minutes to Three Brothers Arms. So it's pretty convenient, right down I-10 to 59 North to Stapleton there. And if you have any questions regarding the class, you can email me, adam@armedalabama.com, or you can go to our website and you can see all about the class and all the information regarding the class. And that will be this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. At Three Brothers Arms. So we look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to doing the class. So if you're interested in the class, we're going to do a lot of shooting in the class. So if you've got 250 rounds of ammunition, or if you want to bring 300 rounds, we'll shoot it. We got plenty of time to shoot that day, and that's what we're going to focus on doing.
It'll be a lot of fun, but it'll be hot as well because we're getting into the heat, so hydration is important.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely bring a cooler with something to drink. Also, you want to bring a lunch because we're just going to break just for a few minutes to kind of rest up, eat our meal before we actually get out into the range there and really get with it. So definitely bring a sack lunch. If you are on Facebook, be sure and check us out on our Facebook page, Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5. We are broadcasting live, of course, on the radio, but also on Facebook, which is really, really neat. You can do that simultaneously, and it makes this a very interactive show. You can go to our Facebook page, and you can message us real time on Facebook, and we look at those, and if we get a chance, we will answer them on the air, or we will message back to you on Facebook. So we try to do that. So sometimes if you look in the camera and you see me looking at my phone, that's what I'm doing. And special thanks to Chase because he's always monitoring our Facebook page and who's messaging us. Also, you can go and check out our previous Facebook videos that we have. Chase actually load those to YouTube. So you can go to our YouTube channel and you can look at those, plus lots of videos that the judge puts together. And got a lot of content there on our YouTube channel, and that's Armed Alabama, of course.
And make sure y'all subscribe to that because it'll let you know when the new shows get published. And also, we might be trying to do a few extra little things here and there when we get time and get the ball rolling. So there might be extra treats for you. So keep an eye on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to try to post some shooting segments that we want to do here in the future, and we're going to make that happen real quick. So definitely check out our YouTube channel, Armed Alabama. And be sure and check out our website, armedalabama.com. And you can go to our website there. We've got lots of information, of course, about our class, about our show, about who we are, what our show is about. And you can also listen to the show from our website. So we simulcast our 106.5 feed on our website, but we also have podcasts there on our website, and you can listen to all of our previous shows going back to the beginning. And so I have a lot of people tell me, it's like, well, you know what? I can't catch your show on Tuesday nights, but I listen from your website at work or when I'm jogging or exercising or whatever. So that's kind of neat too. So there's lots of media that we have, lots of opportunities for you to listen and catch our show. And we appreciate everybody tuning in.
Definitely. And anyone who's a fan of the show, tomorrow the 10th is the cutoff day for voting on the nappies. So we appreciate your support on that as well.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for bringing it up, Chase. So you want to go and...
So is that in the category of talk shows?
Yeah. Radio talk shows, best personality host. And I know it's a little confusing because they had some issues, so it's kind of a write-in system. So don't let that defer you. And if you voted, you can vote more than once. So share the love.
Like so you write in Armed Alabama. That's what you need to do. Yeah.
Like some of the Democratic office holders, vote early and vote often.
Yeah, and vote to dead.
Well, dead people, you're soliciting those votes too. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if you're dead and if you want to vote for Armed Alabama or the nappies, yeah, by all means.
We certainly wouldn't reject
We wouldn't reject it.
We will get our best soothsayer on that.
Yeah. So, again, if you have any comments or questions for us tonight, give us a call, 251-343-0106. And I was looking for different ideas for the show tonight, and I thought, it's like, well, if you have a firearm, what's your favorite firearm? Give us a call. Let us know what your favorite firearm is and why. And also, this is really important. We want to share the shooting sports, share our love for the Second Amendment, our love for firearms. And you do that, definitely share that with your friends and with your family. So if you have a story, a quick story about how you became an avid gun owner or an avid shooter or just became more interested in firearms, then definitely call in and talk about that. Because I actually became very interested in firearms at a younger age. I had a teacher, of all things, share their love for firearms, and I got a chance to shoot M1 carbine and a Colt 45 And I was 17, 18 years old. And that really kind of, I'm always interested in firearms, of course.
I've got a similar story like that. Yeah,
but that's how I became interested, is a teacher sharing their passion with firearms.
Actually, it was the judge and his son who invited me to come up and shoot with them one day, and that's what started me down the path.
Yeah, it can be addictive, that's for sure. And you learn to shoot, and you want to shoot better, which drives me to take a lot of classes. But we'll talk about this much, much more when Armed Alabama returns. Well, I think you probably made his day with that.
Yeah, probably so. It's always good to hear that line, though. There are two items in the news that might bear some discussion. One was the firing this afternoon of FBI Director Comey.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was fired.
And the other thing,
or as Trump says, you're fired.
And I wonder if that's out. No, surely not. I'm sure he got a regular letter or a phone call.
You reckon he sent a letter, or he just called him on the phone and said
you're fired? I don't know.
You're fired.
I don't know about the SOB part.
I wonder if he called Arnold to do it.
Maybe.
Arnold says you're fired.
Yeah, and then you have no argument about it. The other thing, and this points out again the increasing need for the self-defense course that you and the judge are teaching. And this is the story on Drudge this afternoon. Chicago's just logged its 200th homicide this year. And every one of those people, it's a personal thing. Can I share this?
Absolutely.
Was that their record last year? I hate to call it a record.
Actually, it's down a little bit.
It's down. If it's only 200 by now, then it's down because they had 765 murders last year.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyhow, the woman pleaded with police, could they bring her the jacket of the man lying dead in the street so she could see if it was her brother? I mean, every one of these stories, we talk statistics, but somebody is affected every time there's a shooting like that. A white sheet covered the body along Garfield Boulevard in Washington Park. Chicago police cars blocked whatever view might have given her some clues. Soon her phone rang. It's him, she screamed. Through sobs, the woman cried out that her family had been searching for him all day. And this has to stop, said another woman standing not far away from as the rain fell on them. But there was something else. The man whose name has not been released was Chicago's 200th homicide this year, according to the Chicago Tribune. And the city reached that milestone just 4 days later than last year, which was the most violent in decades. And I'm not going to go through any more detail on the shooting, but as of Monday, at least 1,114 people had been shot in Chicago this year, compared to 1,239 the same time last year. And people are leaving Cook County, Illinois in record numbers.
Can you blame them?
Moving out, finding safer places to live. Well, and you got to think that all of these shootings were not done by law-abiding citizens who have a Second Amendment right to carry and bear arms.
Yeah, because the average citizen really doesn't have the right there to do that.
And the police chief in Chicago, I think this came out yesterday, has put out a police bulletin advising his officers that the gang members are using high-powered weapons that can penetrate their armor. So, it's a
war zone.
Yeah. How would you like to work for the Chicago Chamber of Commerce trying to get people to move there?
No.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine.
All right. Well, we have a friend of ours online right now, and it's Will. Will's joining us, and he is representing the Friends of the NRA. Hey, Will, glad you could join us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Look, if you will, just give us a little heads up about the soiree that's going to be the 18th, which is next week, the Friends of the NRA banquet. And let everybody know what it's about and how they can order tickets to it.
Sure. The Friends of NRA, even though we're affiliated with the NRA, obviously, we're a 501c3 charity, and our job basically is to raise money to give it away. And what we usually give that away, and I say usually because there is some exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, we try to give it away to youth organizations such as 4-H clubs, Boy Scouts of America, junior ROTC programs that need funds to either buy new equipment or start a shooting program for the education and the furthering of our Second Amendment and our shooting sports that we all cherish. We have to get the younger generations involved so we have future warriors to protect our Second Amendment. And that's basically what we do. We're going to have a live auction. We have a pretty decent silent auction. We've actually ramped up our silent auction donations this year. We've got some really nice stuff. Mr. Bill Morris, the local artist, was kind enough to donate a print for our silent auction. And we've got some other smaller stuff. We've got some gift cards and stuff like that for it. We do a lot of raffles, a lot of games, and we're going to have a mystery gun, which is a concealed carry handgun, usually inside of a nice Liberty pistol safe. We're going to do a card game on that, so it's 52 chances, $20 a piece. You might win a nice pistol safe and a gun. And Naaman's Catering is going to have an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. We got free beer, free wine, free Cokes and Coke products. We will be asking for donations for the beer, but it's not necessary. And it's just a good time to get together with a lot of like-minded individuals and talk about guns, talk about hunting, and hopefully win some guns or win some prizes.
Hey, Will, this is Charlie. I just also wanted to ask you, and we've talked about this before on the show, friends of the NRA, you can still come even if you're not a member of the NRA. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. We enjoy everybody. We're not we don't discriminate against non-NRA members. That's for sure.
Well, I'm just thinking that non-members might have thought, well, they weren't invited.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. No, anybody can come. You can order tickets online if you just go to www.friendsofnra.org. Search for the state of Alabama. Find Mobile. You can order tickets through there. You can contact me via email at Mobile Bay FNRA at gmail.com. You can call me on my cell phone at 251-753-1020, or you can buy them at the door.
And all that information, the contact, Will, is online on that website you just described, as well as the location, which is the Battleship Memorial Park.
That's correct. Yeah, we hold our event in the pavilion, surrounded by all the planes that back the A-12 Blackbird out, and it's about as patriotic as you can get out there.
And that's one of the reasons why I like going. Just like you said, Will, is a lot of great people having good conversations about something that we hold dear, but also to be in that facility there to be able to look around at all the different historical items that are there. Within the Battleship Pavilion. It's really, really neat. It's a neat event, and I recommend you, if you're considering on going, or if you're on the fence, go ahead and buy your ticket now. You can go online and do that, and it's really easy to do, and definitely attend. And a lot of times, Will, we just got through talking before you came on with us about, having people call in and explain or tell how they got interested in shooting. And so probably more often than not, it'll be from that type of charity that you just talked about on how somebody got involved within the shooting sports.
Absolutely, yeah. We were fortunate enough to bring some of those funds from last year's event. We had the state of Alabama actually raised $129,000 from the state to give back to the communities in our state. And I was lucky enough to attend the meeting where we voted on who was getting grants, and was able to get a couple of organizations here locally some grant money so they can further their shooting sports. I'm also, if anybody out there is interested in applying for a grant, I have the information on how to do that, and you can feel free to contact me. I can walk you through the process, because it is kind of a funky application, and if you make a mistake on there, there's a good chance that you're not going to get what you want. So anybody that's thinking about applying for a grant, and we're open, anybody can apply for a grant. Shooting clubs, we've donated in the past to shooting clubs that needed maybe berm repair or something to that effect, so they could get the facility better. Anything that supports the shooting sports, we will vote on a grant. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get one, but we'll definitely consider it.
That's a good point, Will. Thank you for sharing that. And tell everybody one more time where the event is held and how they can sign up for and pay for tickets. Absolutely.
It's we're going to be at the USS Alabama Battleship Pavilion, May 18th. The doors open at 5:30. We're going to be pretty hard on that. We're not opening the doors early. Last year we did, and we got a little overwhelmed. Doors open at 5:30. You can buy tickets at the door if you want. You can go on www.friendsofnra.org. Just search for the state of Alabama, and Mobile is actually the next event that we have here in the state. Click on the Mobile event, and it will take you to the links to buy tickets there. So individual tickets are $40 this year. Couples are $70. So it is a little bit. And ticket sales only go to pay for the food in the event. We don't make any money off of it. We're just trying to cover the expenses of the facility and the food to feed everybody. So you can contact me again. Email is mobilebayfnra@gmail.com, or my cell phone, 251-753-1020.
All right, Will, we appreciate you calling in, and I look forward to see you next week at the event. So thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime. Appreciate it.
And Adam, you're still looking for callers to share with us their favorite firearm?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can call in and tell us about your favorite firearm and why. And
or tell us about a firearm maybe you purchased and wish you hadn't.
Or just anything that's firearm related. We really love to hear from all of our fans.
That's right. And so we got a lot to talk about tonight. Chase, will you make sure that we have a link to the Friends of the NRA on the Facebook?
I'll do that right now during the break.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll have more Armed Alabama when we come back. All right, welcome back to Armed Alabama. We're going to go straight in here to phone, and we have Mark is calling from Mobile. Glad you could join us, Mark.
How you doing?
All right, sir. What you got for us?
My favorite rifle is a Weatherby 270 Magnum.
Awesome.
What you use that for?
Well, I was in Alaska for quite a while, 20 years, and I used it for caribou, black bear, any moose. It was great. It's just great. I mean, sighted in for 300 yards. The casing's a little bit larger than a 30-06.
Yep.
And bullets like 140 grain. Up there you could get them at 180 grain nozzlers, but down here you can't do that.
Mark, can I ask you a question? I've always heard that if you shoot a large animal, you better have enough firepower to take them out.
Right.
Because injured or hurt, they become a lot more dangerous in a hurry.
Well, if you're bear hunting, what you do, you take your day pack off, you put it about 20 yards in front of you and back off, and then you shoot the bear. And if you miss him, he'll get the day pack and you get to shoot him again.
Man, that would be horrifying.
Where at in Alaska, Mark?
I was everywhere from Whittier all the way up to Point Barrow. I was in the Arctic a lot.
How long were you there?
20 years.
I had a friend that lived in Fairbanks for a few years. They were there in the Air Force and liked it so much that when he retired, they moved back up there and bought a house. And anyhow, his wife, who was a dear friend of our family, she said the hardest thing to get used to was the fact you really didn't have any bright sunlit days, and that dimness could be a little depressing to the point that some people have lights outside their windows.
Right. The thing about it is it's seasonal. But anyway, some people just, they have to. If you come from the Gulf Coast and you're in Mobile, I believe 75% of the days are sunny days.
Mm-hmm.
In Alaska, you better bring your rain gear because it's going to rain.
Well, in the wintertime, the sun goes down about 2:00 and comes back up about 10 the next morning.
Yeah, even in Anchorage, it's like the sun comes up at, say, 10 o'clock, and it goes down like 3 o'clock. Between 10 and 3, it's like dusk. You know, it never really, you don't get that bright sunshine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes a while to get adjusted to. But then again, in the summertime, it's light all the time. You go to the movies at 9 o'clock and get out at 11, it's still sunshine.
Well, that sure does sound like a great experience to be up there in Alaska, be able to go after the very large game.
Yeah, I was actually just plotting earlier this month on how I could get to Alaska.
Sean brought back
July.
Sean Sullivan brought back some pictures one time, and they were fishing, and there was a brown bear circling around them. Fortunately, he never really came up to them, but he was certainly curious.
Yeah, right. First of all, bears are curious anyway, and they always seem to be hungry, so that's not a good thing. But the thing about the Weatherby is shot placement. It's very, very accurate. You sighted in at 300 yards.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you sighted at. Not 200, not 100, but it's 200 yards. 300 yards. So it's a very accurate rifle. So that, shot placement's everything.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate you calling in and sharing that story with us.
I enjoy y'all's show.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know, that reminds me of something kind of funny. We were visiting the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and they have 400 or 500 pound bears up there. And we went to Sugarlands, which is the visitor center, and they had a booklet about the trails and whatever. And there was one sentence on there. It said, because bears use the same trails that the people do. And it says, if you encounter a bear, this was their advice, step quickly to one side. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be making an awful lot of steps quickly to one side. But apparently they felt like the bear will go on past.
Huh.
I don't know if I want to rely on a booklet from the forest rangers or not.
I'm from that area originally, but I don't know if I'm a bear expert or not.
You don't want to put that to the test?
No, I don't think so.
Mount LeConte got 4 inches of snow over the weekend.
Yeah, no, they actually had a really good snowing up there this past weekend. So we actually have a lot of texts here, and we actually have another caller. We're going to go to Adam's calling from Mobile. Hi, Adam. Tell us about your favorite firearm.
Well, I was just recently I lost my father back in February, and he was a Marine Corps drill instructor. So he had, of course, I've been around guns all my life, and guns weren't always special to him, but he would always have 45s, and just a new special thing to me. He'd buy them and sell them, but when he passed away, he sold all of them. So since his passing, I've just recently bought a Springfield Armory range officer operator, and that was kind of just in honor of him kind of thing, you know.
Right,
and,
right.
It's going to be special one day, you know. It's my favorite for the time being. I've got other guns in various ways that I like, but for right now, that's probably my favorite.
Describe the gun, Adam.
The range officer in a Springfield Armory 45 is basically just you get a kind of a match grade barrel, match grade trigger, and basically the operator in it means you get you get a mount on the bottom of the barrel where traditional 45s don't have that. So it's just a little bit different gun. You know, it's got a better trigger in it, better barrel group in it, and it still has battle sights, but not the fancy sights that the other fancier models have. But like I said, it's special to me because it's more like the stuff I was raised up shooting.
Right, right. All right, thank you, Adam. Appreciate you sharing that story.
And you said you had some text.
Yeah, we got
over
some
there?
text here. One is my question's about the safest way to conceal carry without a chambered round in my gun or chambered. Should the safety be on or off? Should I have a firearm with a safety? What would be a benefit for carrying concealed? And should it always be chambered? So I guess we'll answer that question. There's several different questions within here. So I would say chambered or unchambered. Definitely chambered. You always want to have a round in the chamber. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're drawing an empty gun which means you have to add a step to your presentation of your firearm. That step you're adding is to rack the slide, of course, and load a round from a magazine into the chamber of the firearm.
And that's going to take a few seconds.
Well,
yeah, and y'all talk about how short you have.
If you practice, I mean, I've done it quite a bit, and just to practice, just to kind of see what it entails. And if you practice it, you can get good at it. But the thing about it is if you're in a high stress situation, you lose that fine motor skills, and sometimes you may slip when you grab that the serrations on the slide to rack the slide or actuate the slide to loading that round from a magazine to the chamber. So you put yourself in more peril without having a round loaded into the chamber. If you're not comfortable with that firearm, is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't have a round in the chamber. If you're not comfortable with that firearm, you need to make yourself comfortable with it, and that either shooting or going to the range and shooting or taking a class like we're going to be offering this Saturday. By the way, you can go to our website, armedalabama.com. You can sign up for that class. So any type of class like that, you can make yourself more comfortable with that firearm and be able to operate it. So with that comfort level, you'll want to have your round chambered. Also, where it says safety or not safety, I like a firearm that doesn't have a safety.
It does not
have a safety. That's just for me. A lot of people don't like that. They want a safety, but for me, if you practice good discipline as far as trigger finger discipline, and keeping that finger on the slide of the firearm, slide of the weapon, and not putting your finger inside the trigger guard or on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. If you have good discipline, which every shooter should practice good discipline with their trigger finger, keeping it on the frame of the weapon, you don't need a safety.
I have as you know, I've got a Beretta Nano, and it has no safety. One thing, it's an effort to reduce the profile of the pistol. If you've got it in your pocket, you really can't tell there's a gun there. But what accounts for a safety there is the first shot is a very long trigger pull.
Yeah, so it'd be a double action, single action type.
But I mean, you have
shooting.
to pull it some distance to fire that first shot.
And also, there's a lot of firearms that have a little lever on the trigger. It's not so much a safety as an interlock. And then, like a Springfield XD has that interlock. Plus, they have an interlock on the grip on the back strap of the firearm. And so, with both of those pulled, meaning that are depressed, that you can actually pull the trigger then. So that's a good way to have a safety without necessarily having a physical safety on the firearm. And again, that's another thing that you have to be mindful of when presenting your firearm or drawing your firearm from the holster. As you pull that firearm up from the holster, as you rotate the firearm up during your presentation, you have to flip the safety off, whether it's up or down. A lot of them is up, and you just flip it up with your thumb as you rotate the firearm up. So those things are when we practice that you want to practice drawing your firearm. And I could talk all night just on the intricacies of drawing your pistol from your firearm, whether it's moving your cover garment out of the way. What's the best way to do that? What's the best way to grip your weapon while the firearm is in the holster? What's the best way to pull the firearm out of your holster and rotate it up where it should be at, where your support hand should be at in relation to your strong hand as you're drawing your weapon out, which it should be. I always recommend your fist clenched and at your solar plex, or meaning at your sternum, is where your support hand should be as that firearm is coming out of the holster and rotating up. And then, of course, as you push the firearm forward with the barrel flat and playing with the ground, then you can bring your support hand down from your sternum, wrap it underneath your strong hand, and getting a high grip on your firearm. And I guess I could demonstrate that when we come back from the break.
And to recap, you're just saying you prefer safety off, primed, ready.
No, if you're buying a firearm, no safety. If you have a firearm with the safety, it's up to you that you leave it on or off. But to me, I like it off. All right, we'll have more Armed Alabama when we come back after this break.
So you were going over the text, talking about how to not just what way to have your firearm in your holster to be prepared for the worst, which would be an encounter and the having to use it. But you're also talking about your grip.
Right. So the text asked that someone sent in asked several different questions about safety, no safety firearms with the safety, round chambered or unchambered. So I was given an example on all of that, on what I think, and then I also started talking about drawing the firearm, of course, because some of that impacts whether you have a safety on your firearm or safety off your firearm. So that impacts your presentation of the firearm or when you're drawing a weapon. So when you're drawing that firearm, you have to take the safety off or turn it off and making the gun in the fire position. So you have to do that. Or if you have a round if you don't have a round chambered in your firearm, you have to chamber that round when you pull the gun from your holster. So you can do it, you can practice it, and you can be competent at it. But the level of practice to be competent at it is why do it anyway? Because you're competent with a firearm, so you should be carrying around in the chamber.
Yeah, like we said during the break, I'd be too afraid to, in that situation, to forget to prime the gun, and then you just be pulling the trigger on air.
Yeah, because you'd be under duress. You'd be under duress anyway, and so that kind of puts yourself.
You might just panic and throw the gun on the ground.
Throw it at them.
Fire, yeah,
throw it at them or hit them with it. I mean, that's what I always say. I mean, if somebody's right on top of it, and that's the difference between just idly shooting at a target and then thinking about that threat being 10 feet or less or 5 feet away or within arm's distance. If you have a failure, you don't want to take that time and immediately try to clear that failure if that individual or that threat is right on top of you. Take the firearm with both hands, and I'm going to show it right here. This firearm, where's our camera at?
It's right here.
So
for those of you watching on Facebook.
Yeah, so if you have access to our Facebook page,
streaming live in color.
Yeah, definitely check it out. So we're going to do a little demonstration here. So I've got my firearm, and I'm showing you that it does not have a magazine in it. Slide is locked back to the rear, and no round is in the chamber. So we've checked and double checked that before we got back on the air.
Put your finger up to the barrel hole there.
So anyway, so what I wanted to demonstrate is I talked about the drawing the firearm and having the correct grip. And so I say correct grip is for what I like.
And I see your finger up on your forefinger up on the side of the gun.
Yeah, so this is the grip that I like. It's called a high wheel grip. And I have in my hand a Steyr C9.
And that's your favorite, by the way, right?
Now, you don't like the teacup grip?
The cup and saucer?
Cup and saucer.
For a more compact pistol, that a cup and saucer works great for that, or a compact revolver, a cup and saucer works great. But I like this. It's this high-wheeled or a tactical grip, 360 grip, however, and you can really muscle the firearm and really drive that firearm and make some really, really fast shots. And if you really concentrate on the trigger and the way you pull the trigger and trigger control, then you can really speed up your shots. And you can be accurate from one shot to the next. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been to the range and somebody stopped and asked me, it's like, what kind of work have you done to your trigger? How do you shoot that fast and be that accurate? And it's just all about proper trigger control. And I muscle the crap out of this firearm. So you get the skeletal support and the muscular support. And I really just muscle it. But you don't have to be physically, immensely strong to be able to do that. It's just have good tension on the firearm and have a good grip to control muzzle flip. And muzzle flip is just the act of firing the firearm. When the firearm goes off, the muzzle comes up. So this is muzzle flip that's how I'm describing it. So if you look at our Facebook page, you can see what I'm doing. And the firearm actually comes up. So
are you kind of pushing down and forward as you squeeze the trigger?
So I'm driving the firearm. I'm using skeletal and muscular support. And with this grip to really push forward and using good body mechanics to minimize that muscle flip, and that way I can be more accurate between shots.
I don't want to steal the thunder from the class coming up Saturday, but one of the things that you all point out is that you're going to teach people how to be a gunfighter if you're
that's
in a
exactly
defensive
right.
mode.
That's exactly right.
How many shots should you be able to get off in how many seconds if you're in a confrontation where you actually have
many
to draw
as you
a weapon?
can.
Well, I understand that.
I don't necessarily know.
He
if
says
there's
something about the average gunfight lasts, 3 or 4 seconds?
As far as based on statistics, the average gunfight is 2.5 to 3 seconds with around 2 shots fired.
Now, if you go to a revolver, which I think is a lot simpler than a semi-automatic.
It is.
But your complaint is with a revolver, you don't get off as many shots as quickly?
Yeah, it can be a little bit slower. However, Michalak will argue with you on that because when he fires his, it sounds like a machine gun.
Well, that doesn't count if you're fanning the hammer.
No, he has a conventional revolver and it'd be just as fast. Jerry Michalak is who I'm referring to.
He got a hair trigger on that thing?
Yeah, it's a very custom, guns is what he has. So, you're a little bit slower, but you have 6 rounds or 7 rounds, or some of the revolvers now even have 8 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're limited to, and it's a little bit more difficult
to reload.
You can have speed loaders.
Do all pistols handle the speed loader?
The revolvers.
Revolvers.
Yeah. So when you buy a speed loader, you have to specifically buy that speed loader for your revolver.
And what does that do? That takes the whole chamber out and plugs another one in, basically.
Well, it's a device that actually holds the cartridges for the revolver in a store type mechanism, and once you unload the spent casings within the revolver, and that's a whole process within itself.
Yep.
Then you can use that device to drop the new fresh cartridges
into all the cylinders. At one time.
Yeah. So we can talk all night just on that.
I noticed
because as a process engineer, my background, I really focus on those little nuances there, and that's where you gain your speed at. If you can minimize, you don't have to be super fast gunfighter, but if you can minimize one action to another and streamline that movement, you become very fast. And again, like I said, invariably when I go to range, is people is like, how in the world are you that fast? Or you can draw your firearm that quickly and put rounds on the target within just seconds, and that's what you have to do.
And it started with your grip and learning that properly, and that's something you can do in the class, right?
Exactly, and it's not just with the grip; it's also with your stance, getting the proper stance, and using your whole body to push that firearm or to drive that firearm, and putting rounds on target as fast as possible to get the speed and velocity you need to be able to defend yourself, and that's what's important. That's how you win a gunfight.
We only have about a minute left, but I just wanted to ask you one other thing that you all have talked about before, too. Do you totally rule out a .22?
Nope. I like it. Yeah.
Finkley almost killed Ronald Reagan with a .22. Yeah. So if maybe particularly a woman or somebody that's frail, maybe a .22 would be the gun of choice.
Well, I know I like it.
Yeah, it is. I recommend it for women, especially maybe elderly women. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so much just for that. I mean,
but if you can get off 9 or 10 shots real quick.
Oh yeah,
that's my logic right there.
You can hurt somebody.
22 is a deadly firearm.
Yeah,
or deadly round, however you want to say it.
I want whatever's going to protect me and whoever I'm with. And that's at the end of the day, that's really all that matters to me. But
one of the things that I've
30 seconds left?
No, well, actually, it's getting down to about 10. So I guess we better quit talking.
Yeah, we're actually going into our second hour. So hang with us during this lengthy break, and we'll be back for the second hour of Armed Alabama. Man, this hour went by very fast. All right, just hang with us. We'll be back after this extended break with more Armed Alabama. All right, welcome to our second hour. Glad you could join us, and appreciate you hang with us if you hung with us through the break. So that first hour went by very fast, and I'm sure the second hour is probably going to go by even faster.
We either hang together or hang separately. I heard that somewhere.
So anyway, I want to thank Buck Allen for that song there. That's become our theme song, if you will. Don't Tread on Me. We were just discussing during the break that Buck Allen has another really good one. He actually got a lot of different songs that I really like, but another one is called My America, and we definitely got to try to play that next time we get on the show. So it's really a neat song, and we want to thank Buck Allen for letting us use his song. You can check out his Facebook page. It's Buck Allen, singer-songwriter. Oh, you found it. You found it?
It's America.
Yeah.
You want to hear it now or later?
We'll play it later. We'll play it later.
It sounds promising.
Yeah.
Just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to play that in a little bit. So, but anyway, thank you for joining us here. This is Armed Alabama. We talk about self-defense, firearm ammo selection, training, concealed carry, home protection, range etiquette, and, of course, the law. And if you have any comments or questions, give us a call at 251-343-0106, or you can text to that same number. As a matter of fact, we have about 5 or 6 texts that we hadn't even got to yet.
But before
from
we
the
do
first
that,
hour.
I do want to say thanks to all of our sponsors. You know, without y'all, I don't know where we'd be, but we do appreciate everything you do for us, and we're proud to call you out, like Ace Hardware, the Spring Hill Ace, that's in the Spring Hill Shopping Center, Moffett Road Ace, and the Crayola Ace Hardware and Lumber. And really,
don't you just love to go to a hardware store?
Mm-hmm. Ace, I mean, you walk in the door and there's always somebody there to greet you. And say,
they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and say, what do you need? Because, you know, I'm going to call out some of the other stores, but it just grinds me. You go in another store and one of these big box stores, and you have to walk around 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes before you can find somebody knowledgeable enough to tell you about the product that you're looking for.
I went into a box store once to get a cable splitter, and they didn't have it, so I tried, you take the 20 minutes to track someone down, find them. They apparently, they didn't have it, so he's trying to direct me
to go from... Did
they
even know what it was?
Yeah, he did, because I was standing right there pointing at it where it should have been to help him out, but yeah, sometimes you don't know. So the gentleman was trying to say, okay, well, we don't have it. Why don't you go to our Westmobile store? I was like, I just don't want to drive across town just to get this.
Yeah.
But,
well, definitely check out Ace Hardware Stores, Spring Hill, Crayola, and Moffett Road locations.
Very knowledgeable people.
They really are. And speaking of knowledgeable, of course, McCoy Outdoors is prime sponsor for our show. We're thankful for McCoy's. And we have no problem recommending them. Those guys and gals are extremely knowledgeable. If you're just going in there to buy running shoes or apparel, or if you're there for a pistol, rifle, or shotgun, they can definitely put the right one in your hands that you need. And they've got so much as far as fishing gear, hunting gear, bow, and bows for deer hunting or for sport. And if you're just into running, they have a full selection of serious running shoes.
And definitely
and talking about their pistols, they'll put several of them in your hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
You find one that you think you're going to like by the feel and the weight and how it works.
Exactly.
Are they still offering the discount coupon if you buy a firearm?
Yeah,
for
if you
class?
buy your firearm through McCoy Outdoors, if you have that receipt, or if you get the certificate, then you get a discount with our classes, which our class was coming up
this
May
Saturday.
13th. Yeah, this Saturday is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that's at Three Brothers Arms. Come and join myself and the judge for a full day of defensive firearms, tactics, law, how to receive law enforcement, your rights. It's an amazing class, and it's a program that the judge and I have worked years and years and years to put together. So we're really proud of that. And you can go to our website, armedalabama.com/classes, and you can sign up for the class and pay for the class, all from our website. So we're really excited about that. That's kind of neat. Like we're in like the 21st century or the 22nd century.
Well, at
now.
the expense of sounding like a commercial, act now, because seats are limited.
Yeah,
they really are. I mean,
you're getting down to the precious few.
Yeah, so there are only just a few more seats left, to be honest with you.
And you don't know when the next one's going to be. It may be
we haven't scheduled it yet, but yeah, it could be a month or more away. So if you're been on the fence to take a concealed carry class, and home defense class, definitely now's the time to do it. And especially for that mother in your life, whether it's your wife or mother or grandmother, this will be a great Mother's Day gift to send your mother or grandmother or wife through our program. What better gift than the gift to be able to defend yourself? So
absolutely,
it's a gift of life.
Yeah. So go to our website, armedalabama.com/classes, and you can sign up for there. All the information is there regarding our class. Be sure and bring a small cooler with drinks and with the sack lunch because we are just going to power through the class. We got a lot to show you guys and a lot of shooting to do during the class.
I want to ask you one more question, Adam. And I don't think you got to all of the sponsors, did you?
I'm about to go into another one just a second.
Yeah, we just kind of going on these tangents.
Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and finish the list.
Well, you can get to the class if you go see our friend David Parnell at Palmer's Toyota.
Mm-hmm, one of the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can go ahead and buy and do Tacoma and drive to our class. So you can put your with the Tacoma, you got plenty of room in the back.
Or you get the Tundra.
Yep.
Upgrade a little bit.
Yep. Or definitely the 4Runner.
Oh, my goodness. That's such a nice car.
That's where you put all your gear and stuff in the back. You can have, like the judge, when he goes to the range, he goes to the frickin' range. You know what I'm saying? And he piles all his guns and ammos in the back.
When he comes to the show, he goes to the range as well.
And listen, man, it's always exciting for passerbys outside when we got assault rifles leaning up against the wall.
Exactly. I mean, with the studio here, we have a big
plate glass window.
Yeah, plate glass wall here, and you can walk by, and people just like look and give us crazy looks because we've got like AR-15s and pistols laying everywhere in here as we're playing show and tell some days.
Are there any more?
Yes, there are. Charlie's giving us a list. So, not to exclude anyone else, Grayson's Air.
Yeah, Grayson's Heating and Air. We're glad to have.
This is the time of year to check out your AC.
So if before it gets really hot, you definitely need to call Grayson's Air Conditioner and have them come out and check your system and make sure your system is ready to handle July and August heat here in Alabama.
I made the mistake last year, and I didn't get that done. And I'm walking back to my house from exercising like a good person should, and I see smoke billowing from the back of the house, and I think...
Not a good sign.
I think, yes, it's on fire. I can rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
But realistically, I get there, my air conditioner has just exploded.
Wow.
And it is gone. And so I'm talking about 3-4 weeks in the middle of the dead dog days of summer. That house was hot.
And you didn't mention Dr. Foster yet?
He is.
Are
right
you just going to jump ahead of us? I mean, we got a list here. I mean,
I know. I'm watching the clock and it's running out.
So, Dr. Justin Foster of Foster
Chiropractic. Yeah, he's located in Tillman's Corner. And matter of fact, we were going to actually try to get him to join us next week and
about
talk
a mile
about
from my house.
Really, and get him to talk about his practice and what it is he does. We're also going to try to get our other sponsors on the show with us here, and they can talk about their business. And we are thankful for each of our sponsors. So definitely.
And we can't forget the law office of Matt Green.
No, we don't want
especially after last week.
Yeah,
Matt gave me that great story.
Yeah, he did.
What a job.
Matt had a good story, and the story was about the Battle of Athens, Tennessee. So
check it out on our archive online.
We'll have more Armed Alabama after this break.
I don't know why it's not playing now. It played a while ago.
It'll come back on the wings of an eagle,
I guess. Anyhow, what I was getting at on the sponsor list is that there are opportunities if individuals or businesses would like to be part of this very important show. How can they do it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check us out. If you want to advertise your business on our radio show, we'd be glad to have you. And you can email me, Adam, at armedalabama.com, or you can email the judge, which his email is thejudge@armedalabama.com.
Patreon is a great way for our individuals to contribute as well. And on that note, Thursday we'll be having one of the Google Hangout private shows. We'll have that up. Anyone who's donated, I think it's $10 to Patreon, we will be emailing you a link at 7 o'clock Thursday. That's when the stream will go up, and it's a kind of a private. I know the judge will be there, and it'll be kind of a one-on-one in a sense. It'll be the judge, and you can live text in, use whatever messenger we're using, and he will respond, and
It'd be a great Q&A session.
Yeah, it's quite like the show.
If you got a question that you want to ask a retired judge that you necessarily don't want to ask on the air, this is a great time. If you're a Patreon subscriber and you contribute to the show in that manner, then by all means, this is your opportunity to have a one-on-one QA with the judge. And so looking forward to doing that. All right, let's go ahead and go to Will with Friends of the NRA. Hey, Will, glad you can join us.
Hey, Adam, thanks for having me on again, buddy.
Yes, sir. And you've got a big function coming up this next week, May 18th. And this gives everybody a chance to come and be a part of the fundraiser that you guys do. Why don't you tell everybody tell them about the event, how they can sign up for the event, and where it's at, and everything about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're Friends of NRA, affiliated with the NRA. Again, we're a 501c3 charity, tasked with raising money to give it away to youth organizations to promote the safe and education of the shooting sports, to get younger generations involved so we can protect our Second Amendment rights for generations to come. The event will be at the USS Alabama Battleship Pavilion. The A-12 Blackbird will be backed out, and we'll have a live auction, silent auction, raffles, games, and all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. From what I'm actually at a meeting with the NRA field rep tonight, discussing everything that we're going to have there. We believe we have about 37 guns to auction off and raffle away. So good chance to come out and win a gun, win some type of sporting, shooting sports product. One of the big things that I forgot to tell you guys about earlier in the show, we actually have an African safari that we're going to be auctioning on, and it's the only hunt that's ever been vetted by the NRA.
Wow.
It's put together to be a common man's African safari. Anybody can win this thing. It's opening bid of $1,000. It's good for up to 4 hunters. So if you got 3 buddies and you guys have been dreaming of going to Africa, you could possibly win an African safari for $250 each, and that includes everything except for airfare and trophy fees. But the kicker is Numzan Safaris, the organization that's putting it on, is giving each hunter $500 credit towards trophy fees. So even if you spend $2,000 on it, $500 each, you get $500 in credit towards your trophy fees. So you're basically breaking even right off the gate.
That's incredible.
That is really neat. I wouldn't mind doing that.
It's pretty awesome. We'll have all the product there to show the photo safari information and everything. It's like I said, if you've dreamed of going to Africa, this is probably the easiest way to get there, and it's just an amazing deal. I can't say enough about it. I actually met the individual from Numzan Safari. Great kid, a great group of guys, and another great thing about it is you have up to 2 years to use it. So by May 18th, you have 2 years before you have to book your safari. So, and even then, as long as you're communicating with Numzan Safari, life happens sometimes, and sometimes you can't get there. They'll let you extend that past that 2-year deadline. So they're a great group of people, and it's an awesome opportunity. If you're interested, anybody that's interested in getting tickets, you can go to www.friendsofnra.org. Click on the state of Alabama, Mobile, and you can order tickets through there. You can also email me at mobilebayfnra@gmail.com.
And you can buy them at the gate too, right, Will?
Absolutely. You
buy them right at the door.
Buy them at the gate. We have quite a few people that buy them at the gate. And or you can call me on my cell. It's 251-753-1020. I'd be more than happy to meet anybody that wants them. And again, anybody can come. You don't have to be a member of the NRA. This is open to the public, which they actually buy tickets, obviously, to cover the cost of the venue and cost of the meal. Namath's Catering will be providing a all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, and we will have free beer, free wine, and free Coca-Cola products. We're just asking for donations for that.
Will, we appreciate this. Will Case, Friends of the NRA, the event will be Thursday. Golly, get my days right. Thursday, May 18th, and that will be at the Battleship.
Starting at 5:30 p.m.
So we're looking forward to that, Will. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it. And I hope you have a really, really good event, and I'll see you there, definitely.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Adam.
All right. Thank you, Will.
Man,
so if you've been on
safari.
the fence, if you've been on the fence about going, then the safari alone is a reason enough to go. Even if you don't buy it, just to see who wins it,
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can make a new friend.
Cool. Yeah, because it is for 4 friends, so you just got to drum up airfare.
What an opportunity! But so we have that link in, and I'll post that on the Facebook as well later on.
Yeah, so you go to our Facebook page, Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5, and we will have a link to the Friends of the NRA website there, and you can go there and purchase the tickets for next Thursday night, May 18th. All right, so we got a lot of texts here that we haven't even got to yet from the first hour, and we've got more coming in, so I'm going to try to get to these as quickly as possible.
Well, let's see. What
is the best handgun to purchase for home protection? That's such a hard question.
It's such a personal question, isn't it?
It is a personal question. It's the same way, I can't necessarily dictate or give a good reason why you should buy a certain kind of shoes. All I do is recommend you go into McCoy Outdoors, you try on the different handguns there, see what you like, see what fits good in your hand, and make sure that you can operate the mechanisms, whether it's a revolver and or a pistol that you're looking at. So that's the best way.
And it could depend on your skill level, too.
Yeah, well,
some guns are obviously more complicated.
Hopefully, when you buy a firearm, that you're going to go seek training or go with somebody that knows how to shoot a firearm and to give you good, knowledgeable information. So the next text is from Missy from Atmore, and she is asking,
if you refuse to have your vehicle searched as you spoke of last week, what should you do if the officer demands you until a K-9 unit can be brought to the scene to walk around your vehicle? What are your thoughts as if there's something in there you're unaware of, but won't the dog find it anyway, making you look more guilty?
So that was her text is referring to a conversation I think the judge had last week, or a discussion that he had last week or week prior. I can't remember.
Quite frequently.
Yeah, exactly, quite frequently. And what the judge always recommends is do not let anybody search your vehicle without a search warrant. And so if you're detained for that, then you're detained during that time.
Be polite to the officers. Yeah, there's no need to start a fight in the middle of the road or anything like that.
Always be
Never
polite.
A good idea.
Yeah, always be polite. And the officers will be polite to you as well. That's been every case that I've been stopped. I always say yes, sir, or no, sir, or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, however the case may be.
And if you feel you're wronged, on the street is not where you handle it. Take it after the fact. Let it, be polite. Let it play out. But then,
everybody has a boss. So
don't let your rights be impeded. But if they get to that point, remember there are other options besides standing in the middle of the road making a fight.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, so we'll move right on to one is about the FBI director. What are our thoughts about the firing? I think it's a good thing.
You're fired.
I think it was time for him to go. Yeah, I'm sure that's what the phone call was from Trump telling him he was fired.
Yeah, I saw this thing on Twitter, and I have missed the live coverage on television. But it said Comey learned of his firing as he was addressing FBI employees in Los Angeles. TV screens in the background flashed news of his firing. Letter was then given to him.
Surprise.
Heck of a way to learn that you no longer have your job.
So we got 30 seconds. We still want to hear from everyone. We want more text.
Looking for your favorite firearm?
Yeah, so if you've got a favorite firearm, call in or text us. Tell us what that firearm is, and that's your favorite, and tell us why it's your favorite.
251-343-0106.
Also, you can call in and tell us who or what organization got you involved into the shooting sports or Second Amendment or gun collection or what have you. But give us a call. We'll be back after this break with more Armed Alabama. So we're going through some texts that we've got here, and we've asked earlier in the show that give us a call or text to 251-343-0106 what your favorite firearm is and why, and then maybe what family member or friend or group that you were a part of that got you interested in firearms, the Second Amendment, or shooting sports, or what have you. So we have a lot of texts that we hadn't even got to yet. So here's one. It says, I really like my Sig Sauer P320, which is a nice firearm. It's a 40 cal and really fits their hand like a glove. So that's why they like it. And they really cherish their grandfather's old Fox double barrel 12 gauge. So that's an interesting little 12 gauge there. That's a nice shotgun. Another text is we got, it says, favorite gun without a doubt is my Smith & Wesson 686 4.5-inch stainless, which I liked it. I actually had a 686 and a 586, which is the blued version. The 686 is a stainless, and 586 is the blue version, which is a 357 Magnum. Really, really nice pistol. Long time ago, lots of different highway patrol officers around the country used to carry the 586. But anyway, so let's see what else.
Their question that they follow up with that.
It says, looking in to purchase a Bersa Thunder 380. Looks very similar to the Walther PPK. What can you tell me about that weapon? Just go ahead with the Walther PPK. I mean, that's my preference is the PPK. But
if it feels good, feels right.
Nowadays, it's in the age, in the era of CNC firearms or CNC manufacturing. I mean, if it's a good design, the chances are it's going to be well made. So hey, if you like it, buy it.
Let's see.
I think we already got to this one, didn't we?
I don't believe so.
It says yes. Chambered or not chambered.
It looks like they sent another one in, though.
Oh, okay, let's see.
Should I not draw unless I'm going to definitely pull the trigger?
Isn't that brandishing, and is that risky?
I would never pull my gun out unless I plan to use it.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you feel threatened, I mean, you draw your firearm.
And fire it.
So, but...
Just pulling your firearm out does not make you safe, and in fact, it might have the opposite effect.
Well, to her point is, a long time ago, I actually had to draw my firearm. I was in a car, and an individual came up and pulled a knife on the opposite in the car and got in the window. So I wasn't going to try to pull the firearm while seated in the car because he was at the passenger side window. So the vehicle stopped, rolled out of the car, and I actually drew my firearm. At that point, if they charged me or tried to come around the car or whatever, then definitely I was going to use lethal force to defend myself. But at that point, they were pretty much in shock. And it was, at that point, I realized it was just a young punk kid trying to be a young punk kid.
And besides, if they're running away or something,
and
you're not in threat of imminent harm.
But at that point, I felt like I was threatened enough to pull my firearm, and had that individual had stepped one step closer, then I was definitely going to use my firearm to defend myself because they would definitely have been in striking distance.
Oh yeah, the intent to come after you would have been very clear.
The intent was very clear.
Is brandishing in itself a potential crime? Can you be charged?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're going down the road, you'll say, "I'm hurt."
You just want to show somebody I got this pistol.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
mess
if you got
with
a little, instance of road rage or whatever, and you pull your firearm out and shake it at somebody or whatever, I mean, that's a responsible gun owner. I mean, that's just so very few and far between. But that would be considered an example if you're looking for an example.
You might be getting the wrong response.
Yeah. So I got another text here from Jared. Says his favorite is Glock, his Gen 4 Glock 27. So appreciate that, Jared. Next, didn't come up.
Oh, wait.
Here we go.
When the dogs sniff the car, they always jump up and scratch at the door. Can you make police pay for the scratches? We'll have to wait for the judge to return.
That's an interesting question.
He is out researching that right now.
So I guess, like I said before, everybody has a boss. So those are things that you need to document and take up with the police office or sheriff department. But you need to have your ducks in a row and have, of course, pictures and some way to prove that those scratches weren't there before.
Yeah. That's definitely almost like an insurance company. You want to prove that wasn't there, and then it is.
Exactly. It would be the same way if you was in say if somebody bumped into you in the parking lot, didn't know the door, this, that, and the other. So, all right, I think we got all.
We made it.
Texts out of the way. Yeah, I think so. So
feel free to send more in to 343-0106.
Or if you're out of the greater Mobile area, put 251 in front of it. 343-0106.
And
Charlie's so good to us.
Definitely,
yes.
With Mother's Day coming up, we have a class this Saturday. If you're looking for a perfect gift for the mother in your life, whether it be your wife, mother, or grandmother,
this is all of them.
This is you get them all in one room. I had that one time. As a matter of fact, you're talking about that, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he had bought tickets for all the women in his life. It was
and they all loved him for it.
It was daughter, daughter-in-law, mother, grandmother, and I think it was another daughter and daughter-in-law. So there was a bunch of them, and he went and got shirts made up. They were all pink, and on the front of the shirts it said, "I shoot like a girl." So he had bought all of them class tickets and bought those shirts for them to show up. And what a fun guy. I wish I could remember his name.
But it's definitely worth it to do that for you and your loved ones.
Absolutely. What a better gift than that. So if you have the mother in your life is interested in concealed carry and home defense, or have a firearm that she's really kind of leery or maybe kind of scared to use, this will be a perfect class for her to attend and be able to walk out of the class to be able to defend themselves or be comfortable in concealed carrying. One of the texts that we did not get earlier, did not address. What's funny? Did I miss something?
Yeah, good to put a face to Charlie's voice. He's not near as ugly as Sean.
That was by Jared. We'll put that out there.
Jared?
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie, you got some true fans.
Yeah, and I didn't pay anybody anything for both comments. Good face for radio. That's me.
So I think a question that I had missed earlier in text that I did not address, it was, here it is. What do we recommend as a carry piece for women? We talked about that already, just whatever you feel comfortable
Well, what
for.
did you get your
what
daughter?
Is the best, hold on just a second. What is the best place to carry other than a purse? So that's a good question for women.
And we actually have a whole handout on the website.
We do.
About
you can
the
go
holsters.
to our website, and you can go to our website, armedalabama.com, and you can check out a site on holsters. We recommend that you do not carry your firearm in your purse. If you're going to carry a firearm, carry it on your persons, meaning that you have a holster and that it's anchored to your body somehow via a belt or clips via belt, or when I went to the NRA convention last weekend, weekend before last, there were several different vendors there with some really good ideas as far as women carrying their firearms, because women's clothes a lot of times doesn't lend very well to carrying a firearm. So when you carry your firearm, you have to purchase those garments that will enable you to carry that firearm, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to carry it.
And why not carry it in the purse? I don't have a purse, so it's not really a big deal to me. But
I thought I saw one in your living room.
That's my messenger bag.
Oh, okay. That's your man bag, huh?
Yes, yes.
You can be tough and carry your stuff.
Fanny pack.
Well, you can do it in a fanny pack.
So, okay, well, a good reason not to carry the firearm in your purse is the purse can be snatched. And then now the very thing that you have your firearm in you're having a tug of war over. Another thing, too, is I've heard different people make recommendations is if you ever feel nervous that you can just reach into your purse, and put your hand on your firearm. It's like, well, yeah, among the 25 other things that's in your purse, it tends to be a collect-all, especially if it's a larger purse. So it makes it difficult to grab the firearm in a hurry.
I'm about to say, from my experience, I don't think they would find it in time.
When you have to push the kitchen sink over out of the way in my wife's purse, it'll all be over with.
We just in fun, though.
Not really.
Yeah, so my thing is there's just, I could talk all night again on these different subjects that we have brought up tonight, but I recommend if you're a woman, do not carry the firearm in your purse, carry it on your persons.
Now, is this something that y'all might go a little bit more in depth in during the class?
Absolutely.
So sign up for the class. This is a great way to get all this knowledge because we can't pack it into the radio show so much, but you can get it in a more one-on-one fashion, face-to-face, where you can ask your questions and follow-up questions. So go online to armedalabama.com, and you can definitely see where you can sign up. You can you can pay online, get your seat, and we have all the information of what to expect for the day and what you might need to bring as well. So, Charlie, how much time do we have?
About 20 seconds, and it looks like we may have to wait till next week to preview Buck Allen's My America. It's not on YouTube yet, and it for some reason the website played it one time for us, and now it won't let us play it again.
Well, I look forward to it. Catch us after the break. Text, call 251-343-0106.
You're listening to Armed Alabama on FM Talk 1065. I was determined we're going to get Buck Allen's new song on.
All right.
Carried straight in from the wings of eagles.
My America.
Out here in the country where the city lights don't shine, I live my life the simple way, and I'm doing just fine. I fish, I hunt, and I shoot my guns, and I raise a little hell. The things I do, I do them well. This is my America, and I'm so proud, and I don't mind, I say it loud. This is my America, God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave. This is my America. On Friday night, a man light a fire. I have it out in the field. Pull out an old flat top guitar. It's bound to get real. And on Saturday, I might launch my boat in the bayou down by the house. Try to go catch some speckled trout. It's what I'm all about. This is my America, and I'm so proud, and I don't mind, I say it loud. This is my America, God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave. This is my America.
that was Buck Allen, My America. So
the number one song for Memorial Day coming up.
Absolutely. So,
And is that a brand new song?
No, actually, I've had it for some time. He's emailed it to me, and we've just been so busy we haven't been able to put it on the air. And so somehow we talked about it earlier tonight or something like that, and just thought it'd be great since we kind of got a slow night.
You need to tell
tonight.
him to get it up on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, thank Buck Allen for that song. It's a really great song. You can check him out on Facebook. He has a lot of his songs on Facebook there, and that's Buck Allen, singer-songwriter. Be sure and check him out on Facebook, and maybe we can put a link from our Facebook page to his. Yeah, do that.
And he's a music publisher. That's where that first page was we were looking at. Yeah. And but there's a place there where you can download the song if you like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Memorial Day coming up, that would be the perfect song. Actually, he's got a lot of songs that's perfect to play during your Memorial Day festivities.
James, sorry we couldn't get your call. If you're listening, text or call back, and we'll be happy to get you on the air.
Absolutely. So give us a call, 251-343-0106. We got a few minutes left still in the show, and still got a few things we want to talk about. We had discussed earlier where Conley got fired, so I'm actually particularly glad about that. I think he should have already been gone. I think he should have been gone day one when Trump took over, but maybe he was just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, and it's a relatively rare thing for the FBI director to get fired. I don't know how long the job's term is or if there is a term, but I think he was in a no-win situation regardless.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Facebook, definitely go and check out our Facebook, Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5. We had mentioned earlier about the NRA National Convention. We attended that convention a week and a half ago, and it was a great event. It was in Atlanta. We had a really, really good time. But go to our Facebook page and check out different videos that we made of some of the interesting vendors or interesting products that we had seen there. We got a chance to meet and greet with a lot of individuals at the event. A lot of vendors was trying to insidiously garner some sponsorship or advertisement. But hey, that's what you do at those kind of events. Get your name out there, get your face out there.
It's called networking.
Yeah, we had a good time and met with Steyr, met with Springfield Armory, met with Remington Beretta. So really enjoyed it, and definitely check out our Facebook page, and you can see those different videos I made of some really, really neat products. Some of it was just furniture where you have hidden compartments and stuff in it where you can push the button and the drawer slides out, or there might be some drawers with false walls. There was some mirrors there from tacticalwalls.com. And other furniture, lamps and stuff like that, they had hidden compartments, and they had magnetic, I would say triggers, but they had little magnetic
releases, little keys.
Yeah, and that way, without that, you couldn't open it. But that's a great way if you have children to keep firearms out of the way, but keep those firearms not only in your bedroom, but also in your living areas and living spaces. In case there's a home invasion or something like that, that firearm can be readily accessible. Anyway, the Nero was really neat where they just had the magnetic trigger and it was spring loaded, and that mirror just slid out of the way, revealing several different firearms and magazines and stuff like that. So there was lots of interesting products. So definitely check out our Facebook page, look at those videos and products. Can't believe how many views we've had on some of them.
Well, I can. The content is just so amazing to look at, and you did a fantastic job getting those interviews and the insight.
I thought I sounded like a hick.
No one likes the way they look or sound at first.
Yeah.
It's something you literally have to get used to.
You do.
Well, I haven't got used to it yet. But we've got another text to come in.
Here's James coming back.
Yeah, okay. So James says, I typically carry a .22 Magnum, which is one of the things that we recommend. It's a nice little round, a little hot round. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's got a little bit more power than a regular .22. So, and you had asked me earlier about the pistol that I had bought for my daughter to use and learn how, and that was a Walther P22.
That was the one you had up here.
Yeah, I had brought it. Yeah, I had brought it a few weeks ago for kind of her show and tell. And that is a neat little pistol. Is small enough to be managed by smaller hands, so like a woman. And it's easy to control. It's easy to operate. But yeah, as James says, a 22 Magnum gives you a little more power. So that's definitely one of the things that we recommend. 22 Magnum revolver.
So James's question he's going into is, what can he do to get more rounds? And is there something? What would we recommend that has a little bit more power than the 22 Magnum?
That's an all-night conversation. But
isn't there a 25 and a 32 caliber?
Yeah, I would rather use a 22 Magnum than or a 22 instead of a 32 or a 25.
Some of that ammunition
they just don't
find.
have. Well, it's hard to find. They don't have the penetration that you really need as a defensive, where you've got a lot of penetration with a 22, especially a 22 Magnum. Kel-Tec makes a 22 Magnum pistol that's a really good home defense pistol. A little bit bigger than some of the other pistols. So if you have smaller hands, it may not be necessarily to your liking if you have smaller hands. But I have shot the Kel-Tec 22 Magnum, and that's a nice pistol. So James, if you're looking for a little more firepower, then that might be something you may want to look at.
Can we leave with a recommendation? I would make a recommendation that if you're thinking of signing up for this gunfighter class, self-defense class that Adam and the judge puts on this coming Saturday, tonight would be the night. Talk it over, make your decision, and where do they go to sign up?
Yeah, you can go to our website, armedalabama.com/classes, and you can sign up and pay for the class.
But
also,
do it tonight.
Do it tonight, absolutely. Don't dally. So another thing we got a text on, Tillman's Corner is getting a Mobile Police District precinct next to J&J Furniture. They have a grand opening. It's going to be May 19th to the public.
Glad to hear that.
And so that'll be great. So definitely check that out, May 19th at 2 p.m. The public's invited. So definitely check that out. So if you're in the Tillman's Corner area, which is much needed.
It's about time to go.
It is.
As we wrap up, we want to thank Ace Hardware. You got the Spring Hill Ace, the Moffett Road Ace, and the Creola Ace Hardware and Lumber. We got Dr.
Foster.
Justin Foster, David Parnell, Matt Law Office, Matt Green, and of course, Grayson's Heat and Air and McCoy Outdoors.
All right, until next time, this is Armed Alabama.
Everybody catch your breath now.